They claim that they've been clients of him, and in actuality, none of them were. So
Okay.
we have a final clip, and this final clip was is from Jordan Peterson's interview at the Hoover Institution. The Hoover Institution is kind of a very known place where people get interviewed. And he went there and one of the people who have been interviewed multiple times by the Hoover Institution was Thomas Sowell. Sowell.
Thomas Salas.
Very, very interesting topics he talks about usually about his books. I think Thomas is still alive and in his 90s now. Shout out to Thomas while he's still here. Gotta give him his flowers. But yeah, Jordan also went to the institution and gave an interview. And he cut out a particular part of that interview and posted it on his YouTube channel. In this part, well, I'll leave them talk. They are talking currently about Justin Trudeau, which is the Prime Minister of
Canada.
Canada, aka El Comandante. Let's see what he has to say about Justin.
I
Here's
can
the
hardly
fir-
even look at him.
Here's the first question. How can discourse in a great democracy have become so polarized that Jordan Peterson and the Prime Minister look at exactly the same set of events and come to opposite conclusions about them?
Well, he's lying, and I'm not. So that's a big part of the issue. I don't believe that he ever says a word that's true. From what I've been able to observe, it's all stage acting. He's crafted a persona. He has a particular instrumental goal in mind, and everything is subordinated to serve that.
Why?
so-
What's the motivation?
The same motivation that's generally typical of people who are narcissistic, which is to be accredited with moral virtue in the absence of the work necessary to actually attain it.
All right.
He's playing a role.
From
You know, the swastika thing, it's like really
just untrue.
about Canadians. Really, we're going to be worried about Nazis in Canada? Because I had protests, for example, where people accused me of attracting Nazis. First of all, that just isn't a thing in Canada. There isn't a Nazi tradition. And I don't know anyone in Canada who's ever met anyone who's met someone who was Canadian who was a Nazi. And so that's just a non-starter. And so when that sort of thing gets dragged into the conversation right off the bat, you know, the Canadians shouldn't be subjected to the inherent violence of a swastika. First of all, it's not even obvious what that swastika was doing there. There's reasonable evidence to suggest that the person who was waving it was either a plant or someone who was making the comment that that was what was characteristic of the government, not of what they believed. Now, no one knows because the story around that event is messy, and it's not like there were credible journalists who were going in there to investigate thoroughly. But to use that and the Confederate flag issue is exactly the same thing. You know, the story in Canada, our Prime Minister implemented the emergency.
Those were some heavy shots
Yeah.
towards Justin.
Yeah.
Could it be that Justin took it a bit personal and made a move?
I would say definitely. True that. By the way, do you know how you say true that in French?
Trudeau.
Trudeau.
Trudeau. Yeah, but I think the way I think these one of the stories, and if you I mean guys go watch the full interview. You gotta get a full scope of the craziness that is going on there. It's quite interesting to see how institutions are being used for political, how would you say, political play. Let's put it that way. And he doesn't suggest it's Trudeau. We're just making a kind of a joke about it, but you can clearly see that whoever the people are that put in a complaint relating to his social media presence knew what to do or what to press in order to get the college to make a move. And if you think about it, 13 of the 13 complaints claim they have been clients, or I think they call them clients in these in this sector, or patients. I think it's clients. They claim they've been clients of him, and in actuality, none of them were. So,
Okay.
oh, by that already, it's a false claim, you would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's well, that's one of the requirements for them to also, I mean, make a move. So, but those people know what they had to do. I think Jordan is usually a very open person in the way he communicates. He's very clear about what he says. He sometimes says stuff that he doesn't know exactly what it's about, but I don't know what that was. But um, he um, he he's very careful about the things he says, and he's very clear and in detail what he's trying to convey. So I'm very curious how this will end. Um, he's obviously not gonna give it up. He's not gonna give up his license like that. Even though he's not practicing. So he's not gonna give it up. And I guess the college is not gonna back down as well. Probably they won't back down. Time will tell. But one of the things he said in the interview, he wants them to resign based on what if this goes south for them, which is kind of a thing they will probably not do. So I mean, at the end, let's see how that works out for Jordan. We'll keep an eye out on this, the developments, and maybe he's part of a future show again.